Yo, what's up Mystery Dungeon fans? It's been a while. Normally I kind of upload daily, but I was working a lot last week, probably around 35 hours, and I did upload 3 videos still, but I just took a break because I was a bit exhausted, so I'm back with a new video as you guys can see, and this one's going to be about the main villain or antagonist kind of speculation in Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon. Who is that going to be? Well, I don't have the answer at the moment because little was known about the game, but I'm going to be talking about quite a lot of possibilities, and then you guys can comment down which one you think it is, or if you've got a new one entirely, definitely comment down below. So, common question of the day, like I'm saying, who is the main villain and why? You can either comment now or comment at the end of the video. So anyway, let's go on to our first selection, and that is Yveltal. Now, Yveltal is the obvious choice, let's be honest guys. 6th generation, which the villains are normally based on the generation that's just come out, so just a heads up, bit of a spoiler alert. In Blue Red Rescue Team, I guess the final boss was Rayquaza, which is the 3rd generation kind of Pokemon. Honestly, there wasn't really a final boss in that, it was just kind of building up to the moment to save the world. I've actually just recently played Blue Red Rescue Team, basically actually still playing it in the post game. It's such a good game. Like I said guys, if you haven't played any Mystery Dungeon game, you're just interested in the game, definitely check that one out first. I love that game. And basically in Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky, Darkrai is the main villain, which again I actually didn't expect because we just had, you verse Primal Dialga and you think that's it, you know, I really enjoyed the game, it's great, and then you get the kind of extra story which was even better personally, and it was just awesome to have another boss fight, and that one was super difficult but really rewarding if you did pull it off. So yeah, Darkrai, main villain, 4th generation, you see where I'm getting. So Yveltal, you know, the 6th generation is out, and you've got, you know, Yveltal, Xerneas, Zygarde, all those Pokemon, and Yveltal's the obvious one because yeah, it can turn Pokemon into stone. We've seen that actually in the Diancie film, turns Pikachu into stone, so yeah, again, it's obvious, but I think that's a bit too obvious, you know. Why would you make a game and say, oh, Pokemon are turning to stone, and then it's Yveltal's the final boss? That's boring, because we're going to be like, well, we knew that from the start. They want to kind of throw you off, they want to say, ah, oh, Pokemon are turning to stone, so we think Yveltal, turns out it's going to be something else. So, for me, yeah, Yveltal's a chance, it's a possibility, don't get me wrong, but I would be very, very disappointed if it turned out to be Yveltal, just because we're all thinking that, you know what I mean? So yeah, moving on, Zygarde. Zygarde is a very, very mysterious Pokemon at this stage, because we know it's getting a new form. We saw that big, well, shadowy Pokemon. It's not 100% it's Zygarde, but in the movie there actually was a clip released. I'm not going to show it just because of copyright reasons, but it showed the Pokemon at the cinema, and basically it had, you know, pulsating hexagons on it, which, you know, Zygarde does have. It has those hexagons, so, you know, there's another reason why that is probably going to be Zygarde. And it could be that, you know, that new form that it has is a final boss again. Maybe a bit obvious, I don't know. It'd be interesting though. I honestly would have that as a final boss, maybe the post story or beforehand. I'd like to see that, definitely. And, you know, a few of you guys have said in comments that Zygarde could be turning Pokemon to stone because it's a snake kind of Pokemon, and how, like, the, you know, the fable or the myth of, like, Medusa turning people to stone just by looking at someone, that could be something similar, because this is a different Pokemon universe. It could alter a few things, and I'd probably like to see that. I'm not going to lie, that would be pretty interesting. So it's good comments, guys, so definitely keep stuff up like that. So it's kind of the dark horse for me. I mean, Zygarde's got a really good chance because it is an interesting Pokemon, but then again, there's a lot of focus on it now with that new form and its film coming up and possibility of Pokemon Z, so maybe a bit too obvious, but I'd love to see Zygarde in any shape or form in this game. So moving on, Hooper. I definitely, in my opinion, definitely don't think Hooper's going to be the main villain. I'm only including Hooper because I know a lot of you guys said beforehand that Hooper was going to be the main villain, and I actually agreed. I thought Hooper was going to be the main villain, and then we saw the Margin Lamp, and then I was like, yeah, Hooper can't be, because it, you know, it helps you out. And some, you know, some people did say, oh, Hooper's still going to be the villain, and that wouldn't make sense to me because it does help you out in dungeons. It comes with an item. That wouldn't make sense to be versing Hooper and then being able to call it in the dungeon leading up to the boss. For me, that wouldn't work. I can't see Hooper being the final boss. Maybe it is a boss and then that's how you get the Margin Lamp. I'm fine with that, but not the main villain. I can't see that happening. But, you know, we don't know what's going to happen in the game, so who knows, guys. Honestly, I just don't think so. That's just my opinion. Next up on the list is another one I've included that I don't think will happen, but I've seen a lot of you guys comment about this, so I just thought I might include it, is Darkrai. Now, Darkrai's already had a, you know, has been the final boss in a Mystery Dungeon game before, and it was a great, you know, antagonist, you know, villain. I really enjoyed Darkrai, but not for 2 games, guys. Yeah, it would not be obvious, don't get me wrong, but Darkrai isn't relevant anymore. You know, 6th generation, we want to focus on that. 4th generation's in the past, sadly. I love 4th generation, guys. It's my favourite generation, probably. Don't get me wrong, love every other generation, really, but I just don't see it being relevant. And we've already seen Darkrai in pictures, and it's on the connection orb, so it's not going to happen for me at all, that one. As much as you guys want that to happen, well, a few of you guys do, just play Explorers of Time, Darkness, the Sky. I mean, you'll get your Darkrai fix there, I'm sorry. But I definitely do agree with you guys. It's going to be really, really interesting to see Darkrai again. Is it the same Darkrai from Explorers? You know, does it have its memory wiped, which I think it probably would? And, or, you know, does it actually have its memories of, you know, Explorers Time, Darkness, Sky plot? Would be really interesting to find out. Definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to in the game. So next up, we move to a very interesting one. That one I actually thought originally, and I've seen a few of you guys comment, and I definitely think this is a possibility, but it might be too obvious. And that is either Nuzleaf or Caracosta or someone from the Serene Village area being the villain, because yeah, they're close to you from the start and you probably wouldn't expect it, but at the same time a lot of games have tried to pull the shock twist that it just becomes a bit expected. So, you know, I mean, it will be very interesting. I don't know how they do it, because we don't know whether this Pokemon, you know, has the ability or a move that turns Pokemon to stone, or it just has maybe an item. I mean, there's some, like, you know, probably items, new items, or I'm not sure to petrify or turn people to stone. Comment down below. I honestly don't remember. I rarely use orbs in Mystery Dungeon games, but basically it could be interesting that, you know, someone from Serene Village could be the main villain. That'd be a cool final boss. However, unless they had a Mega Evolution, I don't think that would be a difficult boss or a villain, you know, as long as they had a lot of minions. I couldn't imagine, like, Nuzleaf with a team of Seedots. That would be a bit, you know, weird. And Caracosta, probably a bulky Pokemon. I mean, that would be more interesting, but no, I don't see that happening. But it's a cool idea to have something like that. The villain's most likely going to be someone you meet early on, but you don't see at all. Like, you only see him for, like, probably like a minute in the game, and then you see them at the end. Or it's just someone we don't see at all until the final part. And to be honest, you know, that works both ways in games. It works, you know, because you think, I've seen this person before, that's a really good twist, how did I forget about them? And just not seeing them is good, because you'd be like, oh, so it's them. So I'd be happy with either. So anyway, moving on, could it be like an ordinary Pokemon? Any Pokemon could be, like, used in this. It could just be any other Pokemon that got, you know, an item that could turn Pokemon to stone. Don't know their motives, but, you know, that's a possibility, I guess. I know a lot of you guys have suggested that, and it really, really could be that. Next up, new Pokemon perhaps. We've seen that blob from the X and Y movie trailer. Could be even that, or like a totally new Pokemon again. You know, they've introduced new Pokemon in Mystery Dungeon games before. They had Lucario, Bonsly, Mime Jr., you know, Weavile in Blue Red Rescue Team, so could be something like that, but I really doubt the new Pokemon will come into it. And finally, could it be like a non-Pokemon like Gates to Infinity? There was Bitter Cold. Hopefully they don't do that, personally, because one, that'll be twice in a row, and I just don't like a non-Pokemon doing something like that, being the main boss. Is a bit of a letdown. So that's just my opinion. Remember, this is speculation, guys, so don't get too upset that, you know, if none of this turns out true, or you thought, oh, you were going to tell me who the main villain was, because obviously I don't know. Only the people who know are those working on the game, so you're just going to have to wait a couple more months. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely comment down below. I'll get back to as many as I can. And just if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. And hopefully I'll be uploading daily this week with Super Mystery Dungeon videos, because obviously I haven't uploaded in a while, and I want to repay you guys for the awesome support. And if you haven't joined the Twintendo Nation, big red button on the screen now, guys, definitely hit that if you haven't subscribed already, and you won't regret it. And there are 2 previous videos on screen. If you haven't seen any of them, definitely check them out. On the left hand side is possibly new characters being leaked, like main characters or side characters being leaked for Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Now, I did miss off, I think it was Crocorock or Crocodile, really small compared to the other Pokemon on that 3DS cover plate. I don't know why that was, and there might be other Pokemon on that I couldn't see, because it is quite pixelated, that image, so apologies if I did miss any, but I definitely talked about, you know, quite a lot of them, so don't worry. And it's a really interesting video, definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it. And on the right hand side, I talk about the possibility of remixed or remastered music coming back into Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. So maybe some of your favourite tunes could be in there, like Dialga's theme, anything from Gates to Infinity that you like, you know, rescue team stuff. It's awesome. I love all, you know, Mystery Dungeon music, so any old Mystery Dungeon songs that come back into the game will be awesome. And yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on our next video.